Shalom, Kol Halal Yamla, Allah Hayanawa Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai. All praises to our power, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, who is the power of the God of the heavens and the earth, and of you 12 tribes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You comprise the 12 tribes of Israel. You are the chosen people of the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, not to exclude you confusion of faith brethren and sisters who also believe on Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, or Israelite foreigners scattered amongst the heathen. Double honors be to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who have labored faithfully in His truth and are the true teachers of Israel today. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, Habayath Madawadah, the house of David. The brothers labor to make their calling of election sure on the four corners of the earth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the Akim and Akwafim who listen and believe on Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. To you, I say shalom as well. So, this is a lesson that's going to be centered around this article from the medicalnewstoday.com, and the title reads, U.S. cases, Salakia. The title reads, U.S. cases of depression have tripled during the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is going to be the premise of the lesson, is that depression has tripled in the U.S. during COVID-19. And so once again, it's dated September 19th, 2020. And it says a large study finds a dramatic increase in the number of adults in the U.S. reporting symptoms of depression during the COVID-19 pandemic. So we're going to get into the fact that you got people who are starting to bug out already. And we know that the times we're coming into in these last days are going to be, very trying, and they're going to be times like no other. We'll get that through the Spirit, as the lesson continues on. But I just want to jump right into this, and I'm going to read some more of this article. It says, recent data indicate that the number of adults with depression symptoms in the U.S. has increased threefold during the pandemic. The number of adults experiencing depression in the U.S. has tripled according to a major study. Researchers estimate that more than 1 in 4 U.S. adults now report experiencing symptoms of depression. So 1 in 4, it says. So as we go down here, we're going to see that that number is even a little bit more. It says before the pandemic, 8.5% of U.S. adults reported being depressed. That number has risen to 27.8. So these call-in hotlines and networks, and all this statistical data coming from also the AMA, the American Medical Association. So the cases, the hotlines, all that has increased more and more during the time of this pandemic. So it says that number has risen to 27.8 as the country struggles with COVID-19. It says depression in the general population after prior large-scale traumatic events has been observed to at most doubled, he notes. While reports of depression have increased in response to earlier crises, such as the 9/11 attack and the spread of the Ebola in West Africa, the extent of this recent finding is something new. The study features the journal JAMA, Network Open, the Rockefeller Foundation, Boston University 3D Commission, and the National Institute of Health provided funding for the research. The BU study is the first large-scale investigation into America's mental health in response to COVID-19. So, I'm not going to get into the rest of this. I just want to get into the main point, which is depression, is rising, here in America, which is Babylon in the scriptures. And this is actually prophecy. So this video won't be long, but I want to edify with a few precepts. Lord willing, is edifying. So why is depression rising? It said 27%. It's almost 30%. It's almost 1 out of 3 people. Showing you that this anxiety and depression is coming because, we're in a time where the current mental state of this country and this world, is because the spiritual vibration is changing. And that spiritual vibration is the prophecies coming forth of the last days. Although many people don't want to believe that, and they don't want to accept the fact that we are entering into the time of Jacob's trouble, which is the last days, that the vibration is changing. And the mere vibration changing through the prophecies, coming to pass, is changing the spirit of the people. So, just getting into it, I'm going to start with my first precept. So this is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 28. But before I go there, I'm going to start Deuteronomy 28 and 15, actually. Because these curses, are about to be amplified, the curses of Deuteronomy 28 here in these last days. So Deuteronomy 28 and 15, and it says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord, Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." So what are these curses? Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68 are the curses that the Most High said will be on his people. And these curses, I'm going to go to specifically Deuteronomy 28 and 28. And it reads, Deuteronomy 28 and 28, "The Lord Yahweh shall smite thee with madness." So the people are being smited with madness. Now this also happened during the time of chattel slavery, but this is going on now because, see, this is perpetual. The curses are perpetual. It says, "The Lord shall smite thee with madness." So this madness that our people are being smited with is amplifying again now in these last days. So these are the curses of Deuteronomy 28, and why so many people here in Babylon, are being smited. Now the scriptures also tell us in Deuteronomy 30, the 30th chapter, the 7th verse, that the Lord will put all these curses on our enemies. So our enemies, as well as Jake, is being smited with madness in these last days. That's why these numbers, are going to go through the roof, and you're going to see this at 1,000%. You're going to see so many people that's going to be bugged out because the spiritual vibration is going to continue to change. Because, the further we get into Jacob's trouble, the more, hardship people are going to feel. So Deuteronomy 28 and 28, right? It says, "The Lord's going to smite thee with madness." So when you look up the word madness, it says the state of being mentally ill. So you see that a lot of people are ill, mentally ill. It says especially severely. Synonyms include insanity, derangement, instability, lunacy, hysteria, bedlam, mayhem, chaos, turmoil, and depression. So depression is what this article is, the whole, point of this article is that depression is rising. So the Lord is smiting this world with madness. So I'm going to go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 28. It says, Deuteronomy 28 and 28, "The Lord Yahweh shall smite thee with madness." So this is from the Most High, from Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, "and blindness and astonishment of heart." So our people also in the world is coming into a time of being smited with madness and blindness. That precepts with Isaiah 60, that the earth will be in darkness, in gross darkness to people. Isaiah 60 and 2. And it says an astonishment of heart. And if you have an astonishment of heart, that means you're amazed by the things that's going on, and that you're bewildered. Your mind is a person talking about how my mind is blown. So the things that people are about to see is going to blow their mind, and the cause of a lot of these things is not being able to go to sporting events, having that outlet, freely being able to party and live free, clubbing, the clubs being shut down, travel abroad. And now I know that they're facing some of this back end, but what people don't see and don't understand, that don't have their eyes open and don't have the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua on them, is that in Australia, there's a full-fledged lockdown going on. Also in Israel, also in London and in England. And so soon, when the second wave comes, you'll see that back here in America. So how much more then, is it going to be when there's a full-fledged lockdown like what's going on in Australia and various other places? So not having the freedom to be able to travel and party and club and, the unsurety, the uncertainty of having enough money to be able to take care of, bills, etc. That's causing a lot of this hysteria, this uncertainty, which is causing depression. So why is that going on? Well, look no further than the book of Daniel 12:1, because what would cause all these things? Well, here soon, Daniel 12:1 is going to be the cause of why this world is going to be turned upside down. Daniel 12:1 in the reads, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble. And there shall be a time of trouble. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. So the time we're coming into is going to be a time of trouble. That's going to be the greatest time of trouble that there's ever been since people have been on the earth, it says. And at that time, thy people, which is the elect, shall be delivered. Every one that shall be found written in the book of life. So all those that are found written in the book, which is the book of life, are going to be beamed up, are going to be given salvation. But the time of trouble is what I want to harp on. There's a time of trouble coming. I got another quick precept through the Spirit, and this is the book of Acts 14-22, and it reads, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. And that's what we do when we go out on the highways and byways, when we do our epistles, our lessons, and preach this truth day in and day out. And if the Lord, the Most High brings, different brothers or believers into the faith that we teach, we're exhorting them to continue in the faith. It says, and that we, the believers, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So a time of trouble is coming, that there's going to be much tribulation that's going to come in order to bring forth the kingdom. So you think depression is bad now, just wait. If you think people are having mental problems now, just wait. You think that families are, destroyed now, just wait. So continuing on, as you see the things that's going on, more of the prophecies, like the fact that California, Oregon, Washington State, and Colorado, all these states are currently, under fire. There's wildfires, burning all through these states. And it's dozens of wildfires. I think the last count I saw was like in the 70s. And I think 40 of them were major wildfires in these states. And Yahushua said that upon his return, these things would happen. So I'm going to get the next precept. This is in the book of Luke 12 and verse 49. I'm going to start at 49. So I'm going to read Luke 12, 49 through 53. So I'm going to start at verse 49. Luke 12 and 49. And it reads, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I, if it be already kindled? So there's fire on the earth. We literally see literal fire. That you got a state of emergency out west, in 4 states. So it says, I am come to send fire on earth. So we see that fire. He said, and Yahushua said of his mouth, and what will I if it already be kindled? So the earth is already going to be on fire, and it's only going to intensify. And the fiery trials are going to come. And then literal fire is going to come when those missiles drop. Luke 12 and 50. But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished? So until these things happen, this is the tribulation that Yahushua spoke of. That these things have to happen for everything to be accomplished, which is the fulfillment of the prophecies. Verse 51, suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. Yahushua said, if you think that I'm coming to give peace on earth, I tell you nay, but rather division. I read it again. Luke 12 and 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. I tell you nay, but rather division. So we're coming into a time of great division. So with that division, it's going to be more depression, anxiety, bedlam, as it said, turmoil, hysteria. People are going to be going insane, mentally ill, chaos. This is what's coming. So continuing on, and it reads, verse 52, for from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house, divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So we're seeing that, there's going to be division. There's not going to be peace. There will be no peace on earth, Yahushua said. So those are the times that we're coming into. We're coming into a time of great trouble and great tribulation. So when you read the book of Jeremiah 30:7, it tells you that, the time of Jacob's trouble, the time of Jacob's trouble is upon us. So that's the times that we're in. And, this whole idea of depression, being heavy here in Babylon is only the beginning of something that's going to be, so much worse. So much worse. So with that, I hope that was edifying to the hopeful elect. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash, Call Allah Yamla, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All praises to our power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the God of the heavens and the earth, and the God of the 12 tribes of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Double honors to the elders and apostles who have labored faithfully in this truth, and all the true teachers of Israel today. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, Habayath, Madawadah, the house of David, the breaches being closed up thereof, the faithful fruit, to the listeners and believers, the Akim and Akwathium, the brothers and sisters that believe on Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. To you I say shalom.